They done messed up now. Should have never gave these boys a podcast. Whoa. This is Off the Rim. With your boy, Coach Skinny, Coach Drake, and Coach Drake. I'm not. There go the men again. What up, SimWorld? Sit back, relax. Let us take you through the mind of a coach. Yo, what's good? We back in the building. Drees couldn't make it this show. We had to get a substitute in here.
There's a lady in the waiting room.
Hello, and thank you for hanging out with your boy. Me.
Appreciate you guys rapping with me and having me on, man. I'm excited about this. Can't wait to get it, chop it up, and see what we gonna do.
That's what's up. How you feeling, Drayton?
Feeling great. Always good to have another basketball mind on the show.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get it popping. Y'all know how we do it here. We run the fast break, and you know what we do. We got to start off with the flowers. I want to give my flowers to the McDonald's All-American game, man. I think they showed out, and you know, East Side came through. You know, I got to represent that East. What you got, Drayton?
I wanted to shout out DJ Wagner and Tyson Simpson for balling out in the McDonald's All-American, proving and showing that SimWorld Prep is the #1 prep league in the world. What you got for us, Maestro?
Oh man, I'm feeling it all. You know me, I'll be flowering out to everybody because we ain't got enough days in the year for me to get down with that. But I'm gonna just say something straight up. I'm really feeling what Kai Killens, how he's representing at Gulf Coast. Been checking out what he's been saying. I've been checking out where his mindset is. And I'm just going to say, I cannot wait to see that happen. So, yeah, that's what's up.
All right, so we got Kai Killens, and we got the McDonald's All-American game, all the participants, in particular, Tyson Simpson and DJ Wagner. Man, all y'all come get y'all flowers. All right, let's run into the shocking moments that we noticed this week. And for me, owner/coach Rasante Vance. If I'm messing up your name, don't come for my neck. I see how you are when people mess up your name, but you guaranteed 20 wins. What you got, Drayton?
I had people saying that Sean Hyman is going to get out of his brother's shadow. I don't really feel like Trey is casting the shadow because I feel like their play complements each other. But to say that he's in his shadow, yeah, I ain't get that one. What you got for me, Maestro?
You know, I got to tell you something, man. Pope hitting Yacht Club. I had to go to the chiropractor behind that one because I had a whole nother set in my head, right? And I'm looking up and I'm like, for real. Like I literally had to go, okay, wait, which one? And then, wait, what? So, bruh, it just really just took me to another place. I'm not going to lie.
All right, coach/owner, Xavier Pope and this shadow talk.
Oh my God!
All right, now let's get into the bad takes. For me, the bad take, the Hard in the Paint article was disrespecting LDO by forgetting what team he played for. What you got, Drayton?
My bad take was them saying that Gabe Pope isn't in the top tier. I feel like when you talk about a true point guard, especially one in the modern era, how is he not in the top tier? He defends extremely well. He passes the ball extremely well. And just because he doesn't average 20 points doesn't mean he's not a top-tier point guard if he does everything else well. What you got for me, Maestro?
You know, I hate to do this, but I got to do something here. It's a couple of things, man, that kind of hit me heavy. And I'm going to ask y'all something because I want to make sure that I don't overstep my bounds here. But how come the only time I read about SimWorld Europe, it's always about what they ain't got or who they gonna forget about, but nobody talk about what they doing. My bad take is when they brought up, I believe it was Ivanov Andre, ready to help them forget about Henrik Vekic. I'm like, I don't remember everybody talking about Henrik Vekic from before. Not to be disrespectful, but it's like, if you didn't talk about him, how can we forget about him? I'm just saying, I just thought that was like just a bad low-hanging fruit move. That's all.
The disrespect on LDO name. We got the disrespect on Gabe Pope name. And we got the disrespect on Europe.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, let's talk about the confusing takes. And for me, it was Heartland fan questioning my love for the city and the team. I still got a house out there, and I'm still heavily involved in the community. What you got, Drayton?
I got the confusing take of people thinking that some coaches didn't want to sign James Canton and Jarrell Beauchamp. Not everybody has the money or the resources to bring in those players. What you got for me, Maestro?
Yeah, two things confused me. You already stole some of my thunder because I was confused with the Sean Trey talk. I was confused about that, but I don't want to touch back in that dirty water since you already was in there. How we gonna talk about Jay Laster's threes when we don't even know the straight up system is gonna be in? Know what I'm saying? It's like that's where we're gonna go. We don't even know how he's gonna be used.
So we got the media being confused that nobody signed Canton and Beauchamp. We got a Heartland fan coming for my neck. And we got the media talking about Jay Lester's 3-point percentage or shots this year. And we don't even know what type of role he going to play.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
All right. So we almost at the end of the fast break. And y'all know how we do, man. We like to get some laughter in. So for me, I gotta give it to Yells. It was pure gold, the response he had to Big Bob on the Heart in the Paint blunder about the LDO situation.
I got me when I was talking about I could really sing in the McDonald's All-American chat. No, guys, I cannot sing at all. I can't hold a tune to save my life. And there's been people who've said I'm tone deaf before.
My laugh at, I'm just gonna say it, questioning what Moss and Webb gonna do to turn up the lights in Showtime. To be real about it, lights can only get so bright. They're gonna bring the lights. They're bringing their lights with them. The light's gonna be what it's gonna be. So how you gonna turn up what's already turned up? It's just like, what's more than 100%? Don't say 101. Don't do it. It just cracked me up for some reason. I got no answer, fam.
All right, so we got everybody talking about, are they gonna make the lights brighter than 1,000 degrees? We got Drayton saying he can sing and everybody believing it. They try to sign him up for American Idol. And then we got Yells telling Big Bob,
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby!
No.
fast break over. So we got Maestro on here, man. So we just want to chop it up with Maestro. What's up with you, Maestro? Anything new? What's going on, man? First of all, I gotta give you another clap, man. We loving what you're doing with your podcast. I think not enough people are tuning in because you're dropping them gems. Let's give you one more clap.
I appreciate that, brother. You know, just trying to drop some knowledge from the stuff that was passed, like what you coaches do every day. I so respect that. I so respect how you guys handle what you do. And I'm just going to tell you straight up, man, there is no better time than right now. Because trust me when I tell you, when you start going to the next level and you brought in to replace somebody, that person you brought in to replace ain't going to be feeling it. So you're not gonna get that friendly advice. You're not gonna get that friendly help. And you might end up with a coach, not like these two gentlemen, but you might end up with a coach that might look you in the eye and say, "You ain't helping me now. You ain't gonna help me at all. Go and ride that pine." So just saying, get it now.
I just think it's dope, and he was speaking about versatility this week, and that's something that I preach to my guys because transferable skills is what moves you on to the next level. It's not about how many times you can put the ball in the cup. It's about the skills that go unsung.
Yeah, Drayton. The thing about Drayton is he been preaching that for so long since he been here. Anybody can put the ball in the basket, and that's the realest thing I've ever heard in my life. And given the opportunity, if you get 1,000 shots, you're probably going to average 100 points. Just mathematically, that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, you can miss 900 of them, but there's a chance you hit at least 100 of them out of 1,000. So anybody can score. What else can you bring to the table?
Thank you. Thank you.
And another thing that it irks me as a coach when I see I'm not coming for the media. This y'all doing your job. This is not me coming for you, but it irks me to hear or see a media personality telling a player, "Yeah, if you work on your 3-point shooting, you'll be a problem." Yeah, he would be a problem, but this is the thing. He needs to perfect what he does best right now. At this level, you need to perfect what you do best right now. The way I see it, I need to have you elite at something right now before you reach college. You take that elite to the college because when you get there, these kids are going to have elite traits. You're going to get to college and then you're going to look around and these other players on your team and opposing team, they're going to have that one elite trait that separates them from you. But yeah, you got a vast bag, but you don't have no substance in it.
Coach, I got to tell you something. That is, as you always do, you guys always put it right on the point. And that key about versatility, just to piggyback on what you both just said, that reality of I got to come here with something. And again, and because I'm not going to speak for nobody, because I'm like you. When I hear other media members speak for players and speak for coaches, it bothers me because you know what? They're not in a room with y'all. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what you're telling your players. They don't know what your schemes, what your principles are, and things like that. And that's why I always try to caveat what I say. And I'm just going to say with this, I know what I brought to the table because I was lucky enough to play with some guys who could play. And I was in every sport on every team I was on. And I knew that I knew the one trait I had that doesn't transfer to the stat sheet was I knew I was tough. And I knew I was coachable. And I knew whatever one of you coaches asked me to do, because that was the gap we needed to fill, I'd be in the gym, lights be out. I'm still in there working on my footwork. I'm still doing what I got to do so that way I could be solid for what you needed, because you had your go-to people and it wasn't me. It wasn't a player like me. It was somebody else. So I had to help fill in the gap. Now, the players who have what you just said, and I'm glad you said it that way, the players who have that elite game, that top level game, the kind of game that transcends schemes and systems and stuff like that. They need to build on what they have. They don't have to step back. They should never have to step back. Why? Because those are the cats you want to play with. Those are the cats you want to build up. That's why I don't understand when people used to get upset when they say this player is Batman and this player is Robin. Well, you know what? There's only two guys in the Batmobile. It's Batman and it's Robin. So if you Robin, you still in the Batmobile. You're not catching the bus to the crime scene. So know what you have, know what you bring, work on something to get better. So now the coach can say, you know what? It's late in the game. We need free throws. Yo, Skinny, you're our guy. Let him foul you so you can hit the line. Guess what? You now have value on something. And that's what it's all about. Understanding your game and understanding what the coach needs. That's so well said, Coach. So well said.
Yeah, so I give another example, like Trey Turner. Now, He is a elite shooter. Now, at some point in his prep career, he could have said, somebody could have said, hey, if you work on your driving game and dunking game, you'll be unstoppable. Yeah, he could have did that. But guess what's going to happen? It's going to take away from him banging that drum of his shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Now he would have got to Tennessee. He would have just been what? A good shooter
Mm-hmm.
and probably a decent driver. But the thing is, when you have an elite trait, you have to keep banging that drum.
That's right. Skills are perishable. Skills that you don't use them, you lose them. 100%, coach. 100%.
And I think it's a lot of truly talented kids whose stats aren't necessarily a perfect picture of how their skill set or how their ability is. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of kids whose stats, right? For example, somebody like JoJo, and I hate to use my own player because that's gimmicky to me, but somebody like JoJo who's always gonna set picks, who's always gonna close out on shots, who's always gonna make the relay pass and pass up his own chances to score to find somebody else open, who's going to fight for offensive boards, things like that. There's really not a stat sheet for it. Nobody's
Right.
like, oh, JoJo Kearney's the best screen setter in the league, because that's generally not something that people are watching for. But in order for somebody like Trey Turner to be successful on those down screens, he needs somebody like Kadarius Stack Jr. who can just mush guys right out of the way with a pick or a screen and set him to be wide open every time off the catch and shoot. But there's no stat for that.
Thank you. Look, coach, my favorite thing. I love taking charges. I don't have an answer for it other than the fact that I was probably born crazy, but I love taking charges. There ain't no stat for charges. Coaches like you all help make players like me get better because you guys can see, all right, this is what he does that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Let me use that, and then let me help him develop something else.
And this the misconception though. Those things that don't show up in the stat sheet, it gets ignored, and people will consider you not as an elite player. Are you kidding me?
Right up,
Dennis
coach.
Rodman literally did nothing but be a hard-nosed rebound animal, refused to shoot. I mean, he refused to do it.
Do you know how true that is, coach? Do you really know how true that is? Pardon the pun. I'm going to give you some inside skinny on something. One of my college teammates played ball with him. I'm going to drop it right there. There was a whole big movement on the team when he was with that Detroit team to get him to put the biscuit in the basket. To the point, when you go back and look at, especially some of those playoff games when they made that run, sometimes he'd get the ball in the post and the whole team would clear out because they were trying to, and they're basically shooing him to shoot. He was so team-minded. He was always looking to pass. He was always, everything you just said. And what was funny, I saw the same thing when he went to the Bulls. I saw the same mentality of whenever he scored a bucket, whenever he scored his, one playoff run, I think he had 6 points. After every bucket, you thought it was the winning bucket in quadruple overtime because the Bulls crowd would go crazy because those people knew basketball and they knew what a big deal it was that here's a guy that all he wants to do is box out and get rebounds. To all of a sudden, put the biscuit in the basket and the crowd would go crazy. And anybody who ever said, what's the big deal about that? I knew that person did not know the game.
Yeah, and that man's in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, if you ever watched, was it Last Dance?
Mm-hmm.
If you ever watched that, this man would take vacation in the middle of the season.
Yeah. But wait. Okay. I hate to do this to you. You just made me say something. Okay, here you go. When my college teammate had his wedding, and all the Pistons came down, and they're hanging out. Here's how your boy Rodman rolled. He showed up the first day for the bachelor party. The next time we saw him, dressed the same way, he comes walking in the middle of the wedding. 2 days later, we ain't seen him nowhere. 2 days later, the bride's already come down. They standing at the end of the aisle. Here he comes walking in, looking for his seat, like he late the church. So you nailed it. That man had his way that he did stuff, but man, when he got on the hardwood, what was it about?
It was game time.
Thank you.
And look how valuable he was.
Absolutely.
They was willing to deal with that. Now I'm not telling these kids to be a Rodman. He's off the chain. Like, don't do that. Don't be a Rodman. But in the same sentence, be a Rodman.
That's right. Having coaches like you, man, that's what makes SimWorld Hoops pop, baby. That's what makes it pop, and that's what's making a lot of strong young men get out there.
And remember, if you could see the game, you could be the game.